Yama obi bi akwa about the Smart Ghana update, so we a news update for frokra ne de ba besomu. Abusua ene alan kojo chirematin or lanche ne great transformational change a say a plan enye manifesto officially wa lanche e de ato abonten a odi nchiremu kakra to ho a mepese ebeko ne akwa akuti ne wo ne nkasa yemu no obo no tofa a ochiremu a ade se MPP ni NDC oma exhaust omo power and omo competencies esan se omo bu oman no without any plan. Ni etoso mienu ade se ono alan kojo chirematin no oba enya ade se positions no obecheche ede ama efiu na mom obiem ama obi a oye oman pa bia oye Ghana ni bia enya adwuma ni bi anase position ni bi aye. So oye MPP new, NDC new, UFP new, hwan de hiane se oye Ghana ni oche positions na ubenya bi. Awusuana de atoso miensa ochiremu a over 3 decades ni MPP any NDC omo nyina resort to borrowing and omo de finance omo manifesto. Or say it's time SSS ade no esesa na omo to aba edema obi a ogina as an independent or plan a de ba bebu oman Ghana. Chese plan no so enye plan bia keke nemum eye comprehensive framework or de ba be move oman Ghana from instability to stability any growth chese different from manifestos na mate during elections here bia ye kwa akoto aba omode ba na omusa so de oman ni sika and the finance ema e de kaba no abusua mempesa mekasa bewa mebese ebeko ni akwa akuti no.
But regrettably 67 years after the shackles of colonial domination was dismantled, Ghana, our beloved country, is still unable to feed itself. Unable to provide jobs for our young population. Unable to provide potable water for almost half of its population. Unable to keep our lights on, unable to provide decent housing for the majority of its people. And I could go on and on and on. We have been compelled for the 17th time, to seek a bailout from the International Monetary Fund. Although we pride ourselves as one of the leading producers of gold in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the question we should be asking ourselves at this stage is, how did we get here? How long do we intend to stay here? And what will it take for us to exit from here and never return? Those are the questions we should be asking ourselves. In my humble opinion, we are at where we are now because we've brought it upon ourselves, as we say in local Ghanaian parlance. Whilst there may be a myriad of contributing factors, the three that clearly stand out are: one, a failure of leadership. Number two, the divisiveness in our body politic and political space. And three, our own unproductive attitude, behavior, and mindset as a people. Ladies and gentlemen, although our situation may be disquieting, the good news is that Ghana still remains a favored nation in both the spiritual and physical realms. What we need now is a transformational leader, a paradigm shift in our governance system, as well as a mindset change amongst Ghanaians. We have an opportunity in the general elections in December this year to cross that bridge and move Ghana into a new era of peace and prosperity by electing me as the first independent candidate to become the President of the Republic of Ghana. I will install a new government of national unity that will mobilize the collective strengths and talents of all Ghanaians, and not only a privileged few, irrespective of ethnic, political, or religious affiliation. Ladies and gentlemen, both the NDC and NPP have had the opportunity of being in charge of this country for the last 32 years. I believe in all sincerity that they have exhausted their competencies and capabilities and ought not to be restored or retained in power, considering the fact that they have not demonstrated either by word or deed that they have any plan for Ghana. 5 months to a general election, we are still waiting for the manifestos of our two leading parties. Between the two leading parties, they have, over the 3 decades that they have been in power, resorted to extensive borrowing to finance their manifesto promises. The culture of unrestrained borrowing is what has landed us into the ditch in which we find ourselves. A significant component of the loans that have been acquired have gone into financing consumption, the repayment of existing loans, and investments in social services that typically do not generate any economic returns in the immediate short to medium term, and therefore limit our capacity to service those loans. But ladies and gentlemen, I have a plan. I have a plan, the great transformational plan, which will build an enterprise economy in Ghana, focusing on private enterprise, innovation, and the unleashing of the entrepreneurial spirit of the people of Ghana. This is what will take Ghana forward to occupy its rightful place in the Committee of Nations as the Black Star of Africa, the Shining Star of Africa, and the first country south of the Sahara to become independent. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is why we are here today, to launch the most comprehensive policy framework, the GTP, that will move Ghana from instability to stability, to growth, to resilience, and to prosperity. The GTP is comprised of 6 interrelated clusters: economic, governance, infrastructure, social services, environment and natural resource management, and last but not the least, behavioral and mindset change. Each cluster has a number of pillars, thematic areas, and policy solutions. The plan is significantly different from the party manifestos that have been presented by the two political parties that have been in power in Ghana for decades. The policy solutions under the GTP are concise, clear, and action-oriented. For the purposes of this presentation, and particularly due to the limitation of time, I will limit myself primarily to presenting only parts of the economic and governance clusters, with a sprinkling with some of few policy solutions from the other clusters. So let me start with the economic cluster. The economic cluster consists of 4 pillars namely the macroeconomy, industrial transformation, a new agricultural revolution, and tourism. The macroeconomic pillar starts with our policies on expenditure management and control. And I propose the following policy solutions. 1, reduce the current size of government and run a lean executive administration consisting of not more than 40 ministers. Eliminate sole sourcing in public procurement and contracting to ensure value for money, which has over the years been a major source of the bloating of government expenditure. 3, consolidate into a single administrative unit all existing government departments, agencies, and other public sector organizations which have overlapping mandates. The Ministry of Energy, for example, has 14 different agencies under it. Reinforce existing mechanisms in payroll and employee compensation management and administration, which is designed to eliminate ghost names from the public sector. It's only in Ghana that ghosts continue to appear and reappear. Reduce government financing of infrastructure projects by at least 60%. Reduce government spending and financing on infrastructure projects by at least 60%. And in place, introduce innovative private sector financing of infrastructure using models such as build, operate, and transfer (BOT), build, own, and operate (BOO), EPC with financing, EPC with suppliers credit. Undertake a comprehensive review of the entire structure of government spending and public expenditure with a view to reducing the national public expenditure ratio to gross domestic product. That is the ratio of public expenditure to GDP to a target not exceeding 10% over a period of 5 years. On revenue optimization, undertake a complete reform of the tax structure in Ghana with a view to optimizing revenue from the mobilization of direct taxes rather than indirect taxes through the import duties, taxes, and levies, particularly at the ports. And this is what prevails in many of the matured economies. They focus more on direct taxes than indirect taxes. And we are going to change that system in Ghana. 3, enforce existing regulations linking access to essential public services to the payment of taxes. If you don't pay your tax, you will not have access to essential government services. 4, conduct a comprehensive financial and technical audit of port operations to identify and block revenue leakages at the ports, including but not limited to mechanisms to address trade misinvoicing and transfer pricing. Enhance the collection of rent tax, property tax, capital gains tax, investment income tax, and sin taxes. Review existing rates for road tolls and expand the application across various road networks. Establish a free port enclave at the Tema port to enhance vessel traffic and transshipment in Ghana, which will bring in additional revenue from port services. Conduct an extensive review of the operations of SOEs, state-owned enterprises, with a view to enhancing their contribution to government revenue. Enhance the application of technology, including artificial intelligence and blockchain technology, in revenue mobilization, and equip revenue collection agencies with relevant tools and facilities. And last but not the least, conduct a comprehensive review of the management and administration of the Ghana Revenue Authority with a view to enhancing the efficiency and effectiveness in tax administration and revenue mobilization. The above policy measures are designed to increase the ratio of tax revenue to GDP from the current 14% to 20% over a period of 5 years.